This is the plaintiff, Steven. He says he purchased a bike and a bike lock from the defendant's shop, and the guy sold him a defective product. He was very specific about the lock being bolt cutter proof, and sure enough, the chain was cut and his bike was stolen. The bike shop lied to him about the quality of the lock. The guy's responsible for the money he's now out, and he's suing him for the $760 he's owed. These are the defendants, Harold and Sang Choi. They say the plaintiff's trying to sue them for a lock they sold him, but it's the manufacturer that guarantees it, not them. They don't make the locks. They would never go out on a limb and say something was theft-proof unless they could back it up and did nothing wrong. This lawsuit's ridiculous, and they think the judge is going to agree. They're accused of causing a guy to lose his bike.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff bought a bike and a lock from the defendant, says the lock was not as advertised and the bike was stolen. The defendant says the manufacturer was responsible, but not them. It's the case of locks and schlegels.
Stephen, you've asked us to refer to you only as Stephen. You are suing Grand Juvenile, represented by the owner, Sang Choi, and the son, Harold Choi.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. For $760, $540 of it, your time off from work, $200 of it a bike, and $20 a lock and chain that you apparently bought from them and didn't work out so well for you. So you feel like they should pay all of your damages. What happened?
Hi, Your Honor. November 4th, I went to Grand Juvenile. I've had a customer relationship with them. I saw a bicycle in their shop that I liked. I asked them if I could road test them. I left a deposit for the bike. I road tested the bike. I loved it. I gave them the money for the bike. And then I explained to them that I made them a specific request that I need a special type of lock that cannot be cut by bolt cutters, the chain and the lock.
Because?
His son, because prior to
nobody
that,
wants their bike stolen,
no,
but you had a
prior to that, I bought two recreational bicycles, one from Walmart and one from Sears. And those two bicycles were stolen within 6 months of me purchasing.
Where do you live?
In the Bronx.
All right.
I made that specific request, and his son went to the display counter and pulled out a lock. I think it's had the Icon brand on it. And I said, is that lock going to protect me from bolt cutters? And they said, yeah. So then
Do you have the paperwork from that lock? Like the packaging or whatever?
No, all I have is the broken link from the theft, the police report, and I did a little further investigating to find out what type of locks is down in Chinatown. I see a lot of food couriers, because that's what I do. I do food courier. So I see a lot of food couriers with a special type of chain and lock. And I asked them, I said, what kind of lock is that? And they said it's an on-guard lock. I said, can that be cut by bolt cutters? They said, no, that cannot be cut by bolt cutters.
Why didn't you do the research before you bought the lock from them?
Well, because I've been doing business with them since 2009.
You're suing them for $760 because what happened is that your bike got stolen again, right?
Right, because
it got stolen how long afterwards?
A week and a half.
Oh my gosh, you poor thing, you have such bad luck.
A week and a half.
Oh, yeah. All right, so it gets taken again, and was the lock left behind?
The only thing that was left behind was the link that they cut.
So do you have anything to show me or no?
Yeah, here's the link. So after I took the police report from the theft, I got on the phone, I called Grand Juvenile, and I explained to him, I said, hey, that's not what I requested. And he said they must have used a special type of bolt cutters. I said, no, they didn't. I said, I'm a mechanical engineer from the United States Air Force. They used
You're a mechanical engineer from the United States Air Force, and I'm supposed to be impressed by that. Then why did you buy this lock? I don't get,
No, I don't.
One or the other, pal.
No,
Either you can tell that could be cut by bolt cutters, or you can't. I mean.
Well, can I finish what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I showed up the next day at Grand Juvenile to show him the link. And his son gave me an ordinary pair of bolt cutters, and I cut that link that's in your hand in 2 seconds in front of him.
Okay, so the defendant sells a lock. If it really wasn't as advertised and could be cut by bolt cutters, should the defendant be responsible for the cost of the stolen bike?
The defendant should not be responsible for the cost of.
Why?
Because it shouldn't have been cut. It shouldn't
have been cut, but it was cut by a thief. And the thing is, if he says it couldn't be cut by bolt cutters, why not charge the guy?
I mean, it's like if you say it's like a guarantee that it's not going to get cut, it shouldn't get cut, period.
And if it does get cut, is the guy responsible for the bike?
Yes, responsible.
I kind of am with you on this one, going inside the courtroom.
We never said it can't be cut by bolt cutters. I mean, you know, like any chain lock can pretty much get, this is a lock, any chain lock can pretty much get cut by bolt cutters. He never specifically mentioned that. You know,
So-
he wanted a
That's not
strong
true.
lock.
Hold on.
This is,
I heard you, now I'm hearing him. Go ahead.
they have cable locks, you know, which are weaker, and then this is stronger. So we recommend this because it was stronger. He asked for a strong lock.
But I made a specific
It's
request.
not your turn. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's, I think, case hardened
Is this the one he bought?
Yeah, that's the one he bought.
Oh my gosh, this thing weighs
Yeah, it's strong,
100,000
right?
pounds. Heavy duty hardened steel. Nylon protective sleeve cover protects against scratches. Heavy duty shackle lock with 2 flat keys. Is there such a thing as a lock that doesn't get cut by bolt cutters?
Sure it is. It's right here.
I'm sorry. What language must I speak to you in? I have a plan. Okay, let me do my thing without you interrupting.
I'm sorry.
Is there such a thing as a lock that?
Some locks.
I guess the answer is going to be yes now, right? Because you couldn't keep quiet.
Some locks have a guarantee. The manufacturer makes the guarantee. No bike shop
Do
ever
you
has a
sell
guarantee.
any that has such a
No,
guarantee?
we don't.
All right, so now you have a product apparently that doesn't get cut with bolt cutters.
Yes.
Okay, and let me see the product because I'm
I have
dying
the
to see
video
it.
footage. I did the research. And this is the company that manufactures.
And how much did that cost?
That's $150.
And you paid $20 for this one.
Right.
Okay, and your premise in coming to court, and I know you're tired of getting your bike stolen. I understand you're frustrated, but your premise on why they have to pay you for your time, your bike, and your lock is that they lied to you. That's your premise, that they lied. They
They did lie.
misrepresented.
They did lie. They misrepresented
How are you
their
going to
product.
prove to me, watch this, did you ever tell them that couldn't be cut with bolt cutters?
No.
So how are you going to prove it? Because when I look at it, it doesn't say anything about guaranteeing anything. So
on the packages there.
no, I'm
No,
not
on
talking.
mine.
I'm not talking about the 150. The lock that cost 7 times the amount you paid that you ended up eventually. The lock that costs as much as a bike that you ended up finally investing. And I know that.
Ma'am,
one.
if I made a specific-
Listen to my question. How are you going to prove? Do you have the paperwork from the sale of the lock where they might have written a guarantee?
No, they did not give me a written
so it
guarantee.
is your word against theirs about whether or not they ever guaranteed to you that you could not cut this with a bolt cutter.
Right. But I feel.
Right. How are you going to prove then that there was some guarantee, which is what
That's
you
tough
must
to
prove?
that's tough to prove, but
It is.
I think they know what they said. They know they misrepresented a product that cannot guarantee.
Oh my God!
the
This thing
security.
weighs 500
They cannot
pounds.
guarantee the security of my
You
bike.
ride the bike with that?
What?
You ride the bike with that now?
Yeah, the bike can handle the weight.
Okay. So other than you saying did two. You don't have paperwork proving a warranty. You don't have the packaging proving a warranty. They deny they ever gave you such a warranty. Their premise is you should be suing the manufacturer anyway if it didn't live up to the manufacturer's warranty. I find in favor of the defendants in this case.
The plaintiff has failed to prove that the lock he bought contained a warranty from the defendants that it wouldn't get cut. So what's your feeling on this outcome? No warranty.
I feel I got the short end of the stick, but at the end of the day, I explained my end of the case. It didn't work out in my favor.
It
but
turned out to just be your word against theirs without any real proof of a warranty.
Right. So at the end of the day, it didn't work out
What do you
again.
expect for $20?
Well, I expect that if a customer goes into a store and he makes a specific request and that store can't honor that request, then they say, sorry, sir, I can't sell you this lock. It's as simple as that.
Mm-hmm. This one's working? Your bike's not getting stolen with this one?
I don't think it will.
Okay. Good luck.
Right.
All right down this way. All right, so come on in here. Do you think that lock that he has right there could get chopped off?
Well, I think some of them have guarantees, but they won't guarantee in New York also. There might be a specific New York lock, but I mean...
What do you think he was trying to do? Is he making this up?
I felt bad for him, he got his bike stolen, so he didn't know who to go to, I guess. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Right? He's
All
trying
right.
to...
Okay.
Last word. Hurry up.
He bought the bicycle and chain.
I know. We heard all that in the court,
yeah.
and you won
Okay,
already,
okay.
so you don't have to do the same thing here.
Now one.
Take it with
Wait,
you.
wait, wait.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Harvey?
So if you're getting a warranty from somebody, make sure that you get it in writing. You know, somebody can say anything they want to you, but you can see from this case how useful an oral warranty is.